Hey everyone, I am Love is Dead, and this is another episode. This is the 5th episode, actually, of Pros and Pubs. And today we're going to be looking at Wanderlust King, who is actually Loda from No Tidehunter. He's going to be playing Slark. We are using his player's perspective, so you can get a good view of what he's doing. He hasn't skilled up any points right now. I can tell you he's going to be up against Shadow Fiend, and he wants to make sure he gets the right skills first. He has Dark Pack, which is a nuke that purges anything that any negative buff that comes on him. He's got Pounce, which is a so he's going to skill up Essence Shift. Let's talk about this really early on because there's some early action. He's skilling up Essence Shift because he's against Shadow Fiend. He really needs the last hit against him. Essence Shift steals agility from your opponent. That's going to give him a stronger laning presence early on against Shadow Fiend, which is important. Because Shadow Fiend can get really powerful if he's able to get last hits or denies. Actually, he can steal souls from both of them. Shadow Fiend will steal souls, and then that'll add to his damage output, which makes him be a huge nuisance in the big lane. So he gets level 2, gets with his Pounce. The second ability that I haven't had time to talk about yet, which is basically like leap, except wherever if you hit someone, you deal damage to them and leash them to a certain radius, kind of like Puck, for a short amount of time. And he uses that to get his first kill on Shadow Fiend, which is really excellent because you really need to stop Shadow Fiend early on if you want to be able to do anything in the lane, especially as a melee hero. Shadow Fiend should be doing a little better than he is. He needs to play passively at this point. And Slark knows this, Loda knows this, so he's going to be pushing up the lane as much as possible. So, as I said in one of my last ones, in the mid lane, it's kind of unlike the side lanes. Side lanes, you want to keep the creeps closest to your tower, but in the mid lane, it is sometimes beneficial to push the lane, especially to get some rune control and things like that. But anyways, he's going to skill up Dark Pact, which is next, which is a nuke that after a short amount of time, once you activate it, you deal a good amount of damage. And this is going to go up to 300, and then combining that with Pounce damage goes up to 280. You're able to deal a lot of burst damage in a short amount of time. If you start off with a Dark Pact and then use your Pounce, as you land, you'll probably hit the Dark Pact right away, and that's about 500 damage total. We're going to have a leash right now. Sand King's coming out here. Doesn't actually use any abilities. Using the body block. Going to give the kill to Wanderlust King. Eggum is playing with him, and he's gonna start off with, he's gonna get a Dark Pact on Chen because he's got a low cooldown, and then he's gonna jump himself away. He was able to get away from that because Pounce works like another blink ability, and if you have some damage dealing projectile coming at you, you can jump away from it, and that will stop it from hitting you, just like another blink. But anywho, he's going to continue to farm up in lane. He's picked himself up an Orb of Venom, going 2 points into Pounce and 2 points into Essence Shift, actually. So he's found that ability to be rather useful at this point in the game. Using that Pounce to get himself out of that gank. That would have definitely been a kill if he was able to get away from it. And that is the problem with Slark, is he is completely susceptible to any type of stun. You're going to have a couple seconds pause right now, but we can talk about that. Slark is really good at picking solo heroes off. He's also decent in a team fight, but if he gets a good Pounce, and he can leash, because Pounce is a area of effect, stun, or lock. I think it tells me, let's see if I can figure out what the area is once he goes back onto himself. Distance and duration. Leash radius is 350. Takes unit damage. Grabbing the first hero he connects with. So I guess it's only one. But anyways, he's really good at killing off a solo target. And we'll need to use his mobility that comes with his ultimate. And the ultimate, when you skill that up, it is both a passive and an active. It's got two components. He gets bonus movement speed and bonus regen when he is not seen by the enemy. and if you activate it, it puts him into a cloud that makes him invisible, which means that he then, if he's in that mode, gets the regen and the invisibility and the bonus movement speed. But he can still get both of those without activating it. Just needs to be out of vision, which is, as you can imagine, really good for a ganker. And he knows that Chen's going to be in the jungle here because he wasn't able to get Shadow Fiend at that point. But he's going to chase him down here, going to eat a stun from the troll, but he has the ultimate to help him catch up. Not going to use a pounce, and doesn't really need to. He's a little bit faster than Chen. Even though he has vision of him, he saw that he was a little bit faster, so he could keep doing some right-click damage. But as you can see, he speeds up a little bit as he gets out of vision of the enemy. And he's just going to be a nuisance to the troll here and try to finish him off so that Chen has to find another one of them. And he's going to do that, although he does eat another stun under the tower, taking a bit of damage that way. And they're going to chase off Shadow Fiend over here, and with a friend to help you with your ganks as Slark, yeah, you're going to be extremely powerful. Eggum here is a little bit slower than he is. Hasn't been able to get into the fight, but you're dealing a lot of damage to Fanti. They're going to send him up to their two teammates. And actually, Enigma's going to take that kill on Shadow Fiend, and Doom is actually going to finish off the Doom from Doom is actually going to finish off Bounty Hunter. So he wasn't able to get the 2 kills, but he was able to help out his team by securing some for the greater good. And now that basically everyone's dead, he's going to go back to farming. But as soon as anyone's up, he will continue to exert pressure, and that's what you have to do as a Slark. You don't really need to stay in lane with him. His power really comes out in his abilities and his levels. Items are good on him, but not necessary in order to get kills. You just need either to be higher level than the target, and you need your target to be kind of squishy because they need to be effective with burst damage. Maybe you're going to have Bounty Hunter coming in here, and he uses his ultimate, first using off the Dock Pack to get rid of way of that track, and then using the ultimate to be able to escape. We have Sand King coming in here, and they're going to finish it off. Sand King's going to finish that off. But as I was saying, you need to be willing to move around the map with Slark. You don't want to stay in one position for too long. You're going to be more powerful making ganks and getting kills. Especially you want to focus on heroes that are squishy and susceptible to burst damage, and you want to try to avoid jumping on ones with stuns, because the stun will screw you up pretty bad and probably allow your target to get away. You're going to start off with 1 stun here from Eggum. You're going to go with another leash from Pounce. And you're going to be able to finish off Shadow Fiend. Anyways, Bounty Hunter is going to come up here. Try his work again, trying to get a track kill. But he doesn't have the amount of burst damage required to take Slark down, and he can't chase him. Especially when track is able to be purged. And he's going to skilling up his Pounce first. That it reduces the cooldown. His skills have very low cooldowns, by the way. And it is going to go down to 6 seconds for his Dark Pact and 8 seconds for his Pounce. But that increases the damage output with it, and that's what he wants because it's a little bit more reliable damage than it is the Dark Pact. As you can see, you can kind of miss with Dark Pact every once in a while. He didn't have enough mana for both of them, so he does finish off Chen here. He's going to eat a stun, but a nice Mirana arrow is actually going to save him. Track is on him yet again. Bounty Hunter is trying to chase him, but with the Pounce and using some elevation to his advantage, he's able to get around the map and escape that kill from Bounty Hunter. He's not too worried about exerting lane control too much because he can just go and solo kill anything, and he's being more effective that way than staying in lane and getting last hits. Once he's got the levels necessary, he can continue. He can do what he needs to do. But you won't see him go on Sven because Sven can eat a ton of damage and can stun him up, and then get away. Especially with Warcry, which is going to make him move a little bit faster. Well, a lot bit faster actually. Or I'm sorry. I think I might have gotten that one wrong. Is it Warcry that gives him movement speed? No. It is God. No. Yes, it is Warcry that gives him movement speed. I got that right. He actually has his treads on int right now. That's gonna give him more mana. That's the only thing that he's gonna be really useful for. So he's looking around the jungle trying to find some more kills. He's going to pick up a point booster that's going to build into an Eye of Scotty. Scotty's good for him because it gives him tank ability, which is something he severely needs. And it's going to provides a 30% movement slow on the enemy and also an attack slow, which is also great for solo killing heroes. Anyway, they're all grouped up right now. He's going to get a pounce. He's going to leash. It looks like Rubik, but they're all still together. Enigma coming in with a nice black hole. We have Mirana TPing herself in here, and they're going to pick off a bunch of kills right now. And they're going to finish off Sven all together. And if you noticed, again, he did leash Rubik, and I don't know if he was exactly planning on doing that, how accurate he's going to be with his pounce, but definitely focusing on the squishier heroes first before he goes on to the tougher ones like Sven. Also, Rubik as a decently reliable stun, although it doesn't deal any damage. So he's going to. So it was a good. It was actually a good pick off there, getting Rubik first, making sure he wasn't able to steal the black hole as well. And he's going to find himself Shadow Fiend. Shadow Fiend's still level 7, it looks like, and trying to get away. While we have a Slark at level 10. But he's definitely in a good position. As you can see, he's got the level advantage, so he can continue to exert pressure on all lanes and everywhere. The movement speed that Slark gains is really good at helping him finish off, pick off enemy heroes. And that's what you have to do. You don't want to sit in lane for too long with your lane partner. You don't really need a whole lot of farm before you can go start ganking. I mean, if you just have yourself some boots, you can probably get, be a little careful with it. Make sure you get the right people. But here you go. We're going to go start off on Rubik over here. Going to try to get him, but it looks like Rubik actually is going to be able to steal Pounce and then jump away from the gank just in time. He pops down a vision ward here, hoping that his teammates wouldn't have turned around the other way, but they weren't able to help him out. Hasn't died yet. 7 kills, 5 assists. So he is in a very good position. He's going to go on Chen right now, jumping in between these two towers. And then, as you can see, very, very susceptible to stun and any sort of team fight coordination. Almost dies right there. Looking to try to make an initiation, but his team is on the other side of them, so he can't jump in. And waiting on the sidelines, has vision. They have vision of him, so he's not getting the regen that he's looking for. And now he's under the tower, taking a little bit of damage, waiting for the correct initiation. Sven is now out of position. We're going to have a stun up here from Eggum. They finish off Sven, and they're going to try to make some pickoffs. Chen ultimate going to save them up, and Doom is actually going to go down. He's going to go finds himself Shadow Fiend coming in from the shadows, but he's going to be finished off by Rubik. Anyways, he's finished off his skilling up of Pounce, and he's got 3 points into Dark Pact right now, getting the burst damage that is more effective for him currently than continued right clicks and stealing things that way. But Chen is in the wrong position here. He knows that Sand King is here. I'm not sure why he kind of stuck around. He's still pretty low on life, but one of the reasons someone will buy back immediately is to try to finish off a kill at the end of a team fight. And that's what he was able to do. So he was rewarded for his buyback, even though he did lose a ton of gold because he was on a pretty good killing spree. I think it was 8 kills he was up to. But anyways, his Slark is really powerful at moving around the map, and you have to do that. He's not one of the heroes that kind of sits around in lane, gets some farm, and then goes out. He doesn't need much to get going. He just needs a little bit of map awareness, a little bit of coordination with your spells, and you can make some decent kills. And they're going to have a nice Mirana ultimate up here. It's going to actually save them. You have a Dark Pact dealing a little bit of damage. You have a stun coming out from Eggum. They're going to be abusing any of the vision that they can to go invisible and escape any damage that the other team could be dealing. As you watch his movements, you'll see that he will attack, use his abilities, and then once his abilities are up, there's not a whole lot he can do. So he goes and tries to hide somewhere behind some trees while the cooldowns on his abilities come up or wear off, and then coming back into the fight. So it relies, so Slark relies on the enemy team not having vision of you and not being coordinated enough to stun you up when you go in for a gank. And if you have teammates with you on the gank, you are in pretty good shape. Solo killing someone with a stun or a lot of hit points is still going to be very difficult. They're going to go and find themselves set up here with Rubik and Sven coming in on the side. They're going to finish off Rubik before he can do anything. Sven going to try to run away. His cooldown just came up off Pounce, so he's going to use Dark Pact. Another stun here from Sand King, and another Pounce is going to deal a ton of damage and finish off Sven. But especially in the earlier parts of the game, usually Slark is going to need his teammates to help him out a little bit. He can get some kills in the mid lane if you're really, if you find that your opponent made a bunch of like a big crucial mistake, you can get a kill early on. But usually, I don't think that's not usually the case. You're gonna have to go to the side lanes in order to get your first kills. But you do have to maintain your momentum with him. You don't want to stop and wait until it gets to, like, you know, about 20 minutes he's going to start where he's going to be a little bit less effective. He'll have to pick off only supports and things like that. 30 minutes he's going to have a bit more of a problem if he doesn't have a good start. So, I mean, something like a Queen of Pain is kind of similar to him in design. They have high mobility, burst damage, but the Queen of Pain is a little less susceptible to ganks. Sorry, to stuns. Because she's ranged, all of her abilities are ranged, and although she's really good at killing solo, she's also really good at dealing a lot of damage to a number of targets. So that's why she's going to be probably picked up in any case over a Slark in the more competitive scenes. If that's what a team is looking for. He just doesn't really fit into the competitive scene too well just because he's susceptible to coordination. He doesn't have much to offer in the way of team other than just getting kills. And he's finished off his Scotty. As you can see, he's got about 1,800 hit points and having a lot of trouble getting into the base. Basically, the towers make him completely useless, and he has nothing to do against them. His burst damage isn't going to be effective against it. His ultimate doesn't do anything for him under the tower because the towers give vision of him. And as you can see, he's going to try to jump in here. And taking a lot of damage, actually going to be able to be finished off. I think that was a Rubik Bounty Hunter finished off. I thought perhaps Rubik may have stolen Mirana's Starfall, and now it's able to finish him off. I think it's about the last team fight we're going to look at over here. It's actually doesn't have anything to do with Slark, but it's just sort of fun to watch anyway. But they have a commanding lead, a nice Enigma Black Hole, and good amount of damage coming out from them. They're going to finish off the enemy right now. But as you can see, Slark definitely struggles to get into the base. He's going to have to rely on some other carry, like Doom or Mirana. But it doesn't look like Mirana has a ton of farm to push in. Anything that has any sort of pushing potential will be able to get into the base, and he can kind of pick off heroes on the side and be a general nuisance, while something like Doom, does his thing, or an anti-mage, or Phantom Lance. Phantom Lance can do it on his own, so screw Phantom Lancer. But anyways, he's going to pick up Age of the Immortal and continue to exert pressure on the lanes. But that's those are the core mechanics of Slark, and this is and I'm Love is Dead, and it's Loda from No Tidehunter playing Slark. So thank you guys for tuning in.